going to read Baby Jones and her big fat mouth. Chapter 1 is called Punishment. My name is Jeannie B. The B stands for Patrice, except I don't like Patrice. I like B, and that's all. I go to kindergarten. My room is named Room 9. There are lots of rules in that place, like no shouting and no running in the hall and no beating the other children in the stomach with your head. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I like Mrs., and that's all. Last week, Mrs. clapped her loud hands together. Then she made an announcement to us. Announcement is a school word for telling us something very important. Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please, she said. Today is going to be a special day in Room 9. We're going to be talking about different careers you can have when you grow up. Yeah, only guess what? I said. I never even heard of that dumb career word before, and so I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Mrs. made squinty eyes at me. A career is a job, Jeannie B., she said, and please raise your hand before you speak. Then Mrs. talked some more about careers, and she said Monday was going to be called Job Day, and everybody in Room 9 would come to school just like what kind of job they wanted to be. After that, Room 9 was very excited, except not for me, because I have a big problem, that's why. Yeah, only guess what? I said, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And so that means I can't come to school on Monday, and now I'm probably going to flunk kindergarten. Hooray! Shouted a mean boy named Jim. I made a fist at him. How do you like me? To bash your brains in, you big fat Jim, I shouted right back. Mrs. came over to my table. She bended down next to me. Please, Jeannie B., you simply must try to control yourself better in class. We've talked about this before, remember? Yes, I said nicely, only I hate that dumb guy. Just then, my bestest friend Lucille, who sits next to me, stood up and fluffed her ruffly dress. I always control myself, don't I, teacher? She said. That's because my Nana taught me to act like a little lady, and so Jeannie B. Jones should act more like me. I made a growly face at her. I do act like a little lady, you dumb, funny Lucille. And don't say that again or I'll knock you on your can. Mrs. did a frown at me. Just kidding, I said very quickly, except for Mrs. kept on frowning, and then she gave me punishment. Punishment is a school word for sitting at a big table all by yourself, and everybody keeps on staring at you, and it makes you feel like PU. That's how come I put my head down on the table, and I covered it up with my arms, because punishment takes the friendly right out of you. And so at recess, I didn't speak to Lucille, and I didn't speak to my other bestest friend named Grace either. I just sat down in the grass all by myself, and I watched janitor paint the litter cans, and I played with a stick and an ant, and that's all. I hate Room 9, I said, very grumpy, except for just then I saw something wonderful in the grass, and its name was 2 cherry lifesavers. Hey, I love those guys, I said. Then I quickly picked one up, and I blew off the germs, and I put it right in my mouth. Wait, don't do that, shouted a voice right at me. Spit that out right now. I turned my head. It was janitor. He was running at me speedy quick. His jingling keys were jangling all over the place. Spit that out, he yelled again. And so then I spit out the cherry lifesaver on the ground because that guy was scaring me. That's why. Janitor bended down next to me. I didn't mean to frighten you, sis, he said, but I spotted a bunch of dirty candy in the grass, and I was going to clean it up when I finished painting. He looked serious at me. Don't you ever eat anything you find on the ground, do you hear? Not ever. But I blowed off the germs, I told him. Janitor shook his head. You can't blow germs off, he said. Eating things that you find on the ground is very dangerous. Then janitor picked up the dangerous candy. Now run along and play, he said. I did a big sigh. Yeah, only I can't, I said, because I shot off my big fat mouth in kindergarten, and then I got punishment, and now I hate my bestest friend, Lucille. Janitor smiled a bit sad. Life is hard sometimes, isn't it, sis, he said. I bobbed my head up and down. Yes, I said, life is PU. Then janitor patted my head and walked away. And so guess what? I just like janitor. And that's all. For your read aloud question, I would like for you to respond by telling me what is it that Junie B put in her mouth?